Welcome back to the CBN News Channel. Do recent events in the Arab world signal the beginning of a global Islamic power? CBN terrorism analyst Eric Stakelbeck thinks so. He says an Islamic party's victory in Tunisia's elections and Libya's embrace of Sharia law mark a turning point. He joins us now by Skype to tell us all about it. Eric, you've been warning of something called a new Islamic Caliphate. What is that, and why do you believe it's closer to becoming a reality?
Yes, Charlene, this is a term that every one of our viewers need to know because they're going to be hearing it more and more in the months to come. What the Islamic Caliphate is basically, Charlene, a union, if you can imagine it, of every Islamic nation into one all-powerful military, economic, political force that would together take on Israel, take on the West. Now, there's some 57 Islamic nations in the world, so you can imagine how strong this so-called caliphate would be. The last time we saw it was in 1924. It was disbanded back then. The Turkish Ottoman Empire led the last caliphate, Charlene, and ever since, radical Islamists around the world have pined for, have dreamed of reestablishing the caliphate. Every Islamic radical group, from Al-Qaeda to the Muslim Brotherhood to, yes, Iran, which is actually a regime, all of them, their ultimate dream is reuniting this Islamic caliphate. Now, why do I think that we're about to see possibly the reemergence of this Islamic superstate? Well, the so-called Arab Spring, Charlene, and as you mentioned, I call it the Islamist winter. In this Arab Spring, we're seeing in the Middle East certain secular regimes are being toppled and radical Islamic forces are coming to the forefront. We're seeing it in Egypt. We're going to see it in Libya, I believe. Seems like we're seeing it in Tunisia, Charlene. A radical Islamist group just won the elections there. We're also seeing it in Yemen. We could see it in Jordan. We could see it even in Syria. The regime there is bad enough, but it could be even worse if jihadis take over. So I think we're going to see a union, or we might possibly see a union of Islamic nations once again.
Okay, well, Eric, we've seen in Egypt the Obama administration talking with the Muslim Brotherhood. We're hearing it's happening in Syria as well. Why is the administration blind to the Islamic threat?
You know, Charlene, that's a great question. You have to scratch your head. As I've reported here on CBN News time and time again, the Obama administration is reaching out to the Muslim Brotherhood, not only abroad in places like Egypt, but also here at home. Here's the thing to remember about the Brotherhood. They are the granddaddy of them all when it comes to Islamic terrorist groups. They're the originals. They're the first modern Islamic terror group. This is not a moderate group. This is not a secular group, yet this administration, Charlene, has said as much. They've branded the Brotherhood as an outreach partner. They believe, for some reason, I'm still trying to figure it out, they believe that the Muslim Brotherhood is an ideal outreach partner, and they believe that the Brotherhood can be used as a counterweight to Al-Qaeda.
Well, let's get to Iran as well,
sense,
Eric.
Charlene, because Al-Qaeda and the Muslim Brotherhood, at the end of the day, have the same goals.
Let's talk about how big a part Iran is playing in this.
Well, Iran as well. Absolutely. Iran is playing a major role. Actually, I would say Iran is the main purveyor of this dream of a new caliphate, Charlene. Okay, well, really, the Iranian regime over the past several months.
We'll have to continue this later on, Eric. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you joining us this morning.
Thank you. Thanks, Charlene.